What's up, guys? Today I'm really excited. We're doing brisket tacos, and we're doing it a little bit differently here. As you can see, I've got this really nice brisket. It's not the most well trimmed up brisket, but we're gonna take this brisket, we're gonna season it with the SuckleBuster's 1836 rub, Kosmo's Q cow cover hot, and then we're gonna layer in this SuckleBuster's fajita seasoning because we're going for that brisket taco kind of taste. So we're gonna do that. What we're gonna do is, once we get these separated, I'm gonna hang them in the pit barrel, and we're gonna cook it probably around 320 degrees. Once we get to an internal temperature of about 160, I'm gonna put the flat of this brisket into a pan, and we're gonna essentially braise it. And we're gonna put some extra juices in there, some things that are gonna really make that like your typical kind of pulled brisket that you would use for brisket tacos. So it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a little bit different for us. It's gonna be delicious. So let's get this thing trimmed up here. I'm gonna separate the point from the flat. I've never actually done this before cooking before, so it might be a little bit interesting, but basically I wanna look down that fat line and try to separate these out. So let's get to cutting this thing up. Okay guys, so where I'm gonna pull the meat from for these brisket tacos is from this brisket flat. Now this is my first time pre-cutting it. You can see I've got a few little gashes and stuff in there, but what I was trying to do is really just get down to that 1/4 inch of fat that you normally have. I may trim it up a little bit more, but you know, this is going in the tacos, so I don't want a ton of fat, you know, in people's tacos. But you know, the key was just getting that really hard fat off. For the point, I'm gonna trim this up a little bit more. You can see, you know, I got some bad cuts here, and then the way they butchered this thing just isn't the best. But I'm actually gonna use this. This is just gonna be like a normal brisket. I'll probably just wrap this in butcher paper and stuff. But the main focus is really on this flat, because this is where we're gonna get our taco meat from. So let's get this thing seasoned up, and then we'll go get that smoker fired up. So stick around. Okay, I went ahead and trimmed up the point. We're gonna do that a little bit differently than this flat. So for this flat, let's go ahead and get it seasoned up here. So I'm just gonna go on first with this cow cover hot. And the good thing with beef is that you really can't over season it in general. It's pretty hard to. This is a big cut of meat, so it can take a lot of seasoning here. So, you know, you can feel free to be pretty liberal with what you're putting on here. Get on the sides there. This is going to be a beautiful piece of meat. We love our tacos here in Texas, so this is really exciting. A little bit of a different take, you know, especially if you're kind of tired of, you know, just regular barbecue. This is a nice way to kind of change things up a little bit. To get that normal, regular kind of Texas style flavoring, we're gonna put a little bit of this 1836 on. This has some pretty big grains, so when we flip it, we'll probably lose some, but we'll kind of try to pat it down before we do that. But this just gives you an extra little layer of flavor here. And I'm just gonna do this on both sides here. I'm not gonna mess with the edges. We've got a pretty good covering on the edges for that. Okay. And now we'll go on with the fajita seasoning. We'll go on fairly heavy with that. We want a lot of flavor in these because there's nothing worse than doing a brisket like this, and then you get to the end and you spend all this time, and this is going to be a pretty quick cook because we're doing it hot and fast. Cooking it at 300 degrees plus. This is gonna cook pretty fast, but you're putting in all that time, and then have something that doesn't have any flavor at the end is probably like one of the most disappointing things you can do. Now, it usually still tastes good because you got all that good smoke on it and everything, but you definitely want to make sure that you're getting that flavor. That's what you're going for here, right? So, all right, that looks gorgeous. Look at that. That's sexy. So we're gonna actually hang this today. I'm really excited about hanging a brisket. I've never hung a brisket in the pit barrel before, so it's always exciting to experiment with new ways of cooking, and this is gonna be really good. I think in one of our previous videos, we tried to hang that whole brisket, and it was just sitting right there in the coals. I knew it was gonna get burnt, and I didn't wanna cut it up. So this is gonna be cool because we're gonna have plenty of space, plenty of real estate for that smoke to go and basically swirl around this piece of meat. So let's go ahead and we'll get the point seasoned up here, and we'll do it kind of the same way. We just won't put the fajita seasoning on it because we're just going to do this like as an appetizer. Kind of cut it up. Maybe we'll even freeze it up for some chili. And look at that. Look at that. I'm all out of that Kosmos Q. This is great stuff. I love it. I use it on everything. I've used it on chicken. It's really good. So we'll just go heavy on here with the 1836 then. And I hope that's it. Yeah, that's the 1836. Really good stuff. You can see this thing's pretty beat up. I won't lie. I mean, I didn't butcher this the best, but man, when we got this, it wasn't. It had some pretty big gashes in it. And it wasn't the best cut up there. I was a little disappointed in that, but right now with this COVID stuff and meat being so challenging to find, or good cuts of meat being so challenging to find, we were just happy to get a good prime brisket. I mean, look at that. Look at that marbling in there. That's really nice. So just excited to be able to still get some meat. I know some people aren't quite as lucky right now, and this is quite a treat. We don't do this all the time, but when we do, we want to do it right? Okay, I'm gonna let these set up for a little while. I want to really let those seasonings really meld and melt into that meat there. So let that do that, and then we'll go get that pit barrel fired up. It's really easy. I love that cooker. We can have it up and going in like 20 minutes. I mean, what other cooker can you do that? And then it's almost like a pellet cooker in the sense you set that thing and forget it. You don't have to worry about it. Just monitor your internal temps or go and kind of watch the color of the meat, and when you're ready to do it, or when you're ready to take that off. So let's go outside. Okay, this pit barrel is super easy to set up. I know I've shown videos of this before, but we got the Kingsford Professional. I'm just gonna fill up this basket here. And I'm gonna do a full basket. I'm gonna do a full basket because I'm gonna be cooking a lot today. Once you kind of learn the cooker, you don't need a full basket necessarily, but what I'll do is do this, and then we'll put in, once we get it heated up, we'll throw some pecan chunks in there. I'm gonna cook with pecan wood today. Got a couple of these. We'll go ahead and stick them in there like so, and then we'll set them on fire. And it's as easy as that. We'll bring you back when we're about to hang that meat on here. Like I said before, super excited about getting to hang this brisket in there. We're ready to hang this brisket. We've got the pit barrel rolling heavy. I've got the smoke chunks already on there, so it's pluming some good smoke there. We've got it heated up, and we're gonna try to hang this now. So I've got my point, and I'm just gonna hang it kind of like that on there. And I got the flat, and I used 2 hooks side by side on this, so I'll have to twist one a little bit, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Oh man. So now that we've got that hanging, I'll go ahead and let it kind of go. I'm gonna put a couple of my probes from my fireboard in there, but for now we're just gonna let this thing go. Woo. All right, we've had this thing on here for maybe about 2 hours. We're hitting 160, time to pull this off. So let's go ahead, let's take a look. We're working like that. Oh man, this looks really good. Look at this. Get it off of the hook, off of the rebar here. That looks really good. Pull that. And let's get this point off. Oh yeah, great color. I mean, look at that. That looks really nice. Really, really nice. Good bark buildup, great color. I mean, this, and still really, really juicy. This is gonna be good. All right. Let's go bring it inside. We're gonna put the flat in that braising liquid that we talked about. And we're gonna kind of play by the seat of our pants here because we don't have beef broth, but we're gonna use chicken broth. So let's go check that out. All right, we've got the flat off of the grill now. We've only got these little pans, these normal kind of like 9x13, or maybe they're a little smaller than that. Anyways, we've only got these. This flat's obviously a little bit big for that, so what I'm gonna do is just cut it in half, and then we're gonna create a braising liquid out of it. And I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. Never done this before, but we're just gonna basically make it have those flavors that you normally would encounter in a brisket taco. So we're gonna cut this in half. The only thing is we're gonna lose a little bit of liquid here, but we're not cooking it in that high heat, so we're not gonna dry it out. So, oh yeah, look at that. So that's gonna fit about perfectly in each of these pans. And then I'm gonna use a little chicken broth here, and I wanna just make it a nice bath for it. So let's just put that all around there. Just like that. Okay. The thing is, I want this to just basically fall apart in this juice that we're creating. So what we're gonna do is then we're gonna add some more seasonings to it. So I'm gonna add some minced garlic, and I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Add a couple spoonfuls of that. Oh man, this brisket smells really good. I'm gonna add a little bit of dried onion in here. Gonna go ahead and add in some chili powder. I'm actually just gonna put it all over here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of our fajita seasoning. Oop, whoa. Add a little bit more of that. There we go. I'm gonna throw in some ground cumin. I'm just gonna put in a decent amount of that. That's where you get a lot of that good flavor for this. There we go. That kind of taco flavoring is what you get from that cumin. I'm going to then put in just a couple of bay leaves into each one. Okay. Did I put chili powder in there? All right. And then just a little chili powder. All right, now what we're gonna do is just wrap these up. I'm gonna put some aluminum foil on them, and I'm gonna put that, I'm actually gonna put these in the oven because I don't have enough room on my grill for this. So we'll just take that, throw it in there, and then we're just gonna let this thing shred. We'll monitor internal temperatures, but really the whole point of this is just to make it shred. We don't care about preserving this wonderful bark that we've built up, but that'll all go into this whole flavor profile and it'll be absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and get this in the oven, and then we'll just let it braise. Okay guys, we have had that brisket in the oven here at about 300 degrees for approximately like 4 or 5 hours. So all in, this is about a 7-hour cook. But we're ready now. We're ready to make a little taco. We're gonna, this isn't like a normal brisket cook where we're just cooking to an internal temperature of 200. I was basically trying to get this brisket to just absolutely fall apart, break down all that interconnected tissue. We don't care about slicing it. This isn't like your typical Texas barbecue. This is basically what we want to make is like a street taco, and this is just my version of it. A lot of other people are going to say maybe this isn't the right way to do it, but it's the way I do it. You get some nice smokiness on it, and then we try to add a little bit of that flair. So let's kind of just break this up a little bit here, and you can see it's just falling apart. And I won't lie, I already kind of started digging into it, and we forgot to start filming. But this is kind of what you want in this sort of street taco. Is I want this to just kind of fall apart. I want this to just come apart, and I can let it sit there and kind of rest in all these juices. We know, if you remember all those seasonings we put in there, we've got that ground cumin and everything, and we're just ready to put this into one of our tacos here. So we've got this all nice and broken up. Let me break up the rest of it here real quick. And it's just falling apart. I mean, look at that nice shred. That's the kind of consistency that I want to see. So what I've done is I've got a flour tortilla here. A lot of folks like corn. I'm a flour tortilla guy. That's the way I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this here, put it right there in the middle. Try not to get things too messy, which is pretty much what you would expect from me. Get a little bit of that juice in there, because that's what makes these brisket tacos really good, is you get a little bit of that jus and that juice in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this Mexican cheese here, sprinkle that on top. I'm going to put a little cilantro on there. And then I'm going to take just a couple wedges of avocado. I'm going to put those actually on the sides there, because this is a pretty big tortilla. And I love this Valentina sauce. I could drink this stuff. It was on sale. I'm like, man, may as well get some, right? So I'm going to try to just drizzle a little bit on there. A little bit of this goes a long way. And we'll just kind of drizzle it on there like this. And boom, we've got a nice taco here. Man, I'm so ready to dig into this. Okay, guys, look at that. Look at all that juice dripping out of there. That's what you want to see. Now, that Valentina sauce, it just kicks it up a notch. That's really good. You can taste all the smokiness from when we smoked it out on that pit barrel, but then you also get a little bit of that spice from the Valentina. You get the cumin, a little bit of the cheese, and the cilantro just kind of finishes things off. And then avocado just kind of mellows out the spice from the Valentina sauce. This is awesome. I'm going to have to do this again, and I'll probably make some modifications to it the next time, but this is delicious. Guys, I hope you go out there and you try to make this yourself and add your own twist and your own flair to it. That's exactly what we did. I mean, we went and said we want to do brisket tacos, but we did it our way. We smoked it, and then we threw it in here. We're ready to go. We're having friends over. Hopefully they'll like it as much as I like it. I hope you go out there and try this for yourself. So until next time, stay safe out there. And if you like what we're doing here, go ahead and click that subscribe button, please. It helps us out a lot. Give it a thumbs up and ring that little bell. So until next time, we'll see you later.